Good evening, dandies. Welcome to Undetermined, the podcast.
Welcome back, Chris, or welcome.
You guys hear me all right?
Chris? Yeah, I think so far.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good to go. It took some of that country internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people are hogging bandwidth, man. It's a big problem.
Well, everyone's stuck at home.
Right. It's not you or me that's the problem. It's the asshole down the street who's watching Powerpuff Girls over and over.
Right. Or Tiger King. That's the thing that's going around.
Yeah, and then telling all his friends to watch Tiger King.
Yeah.
I've watched a couple of episodes.
I watched the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing.
What's sad is I'm pretty sure I'm related to most of the people on that. I don't know how. But I'm pretty sure our family tree meets up somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I guarantee you there's fucking people in my family who would, if they could afford it, they would collect a tiger in a fucking heartbeat. If they would have ever thought of it, they would have been like, for $2,000, I could have not bought this AK and I could have bought me a tiger.
Right.
What the fuck was I thinking?
Well, they said that I couldn't help but think that's a pretty good deal for a tiger.
Yeah, exactly. I told the same thing to my wife. I was like, Jesus, if rednecks ever get the notion, it was like $2,000 is a lot of money, but for a fucking tiger, it's not a lot of money.
People are paying that much for dogs right now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Why not get the upgrade, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd have asked me, like, what it was going to cost for a tiger, like, I'm thinking, like, 10 grand minimum.
Oh, yeah.
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 For a used one.
A used tiger. Pre-owned tiger.
Right.
Yeah, pre-owned.
Pre-owned, maybe a bit of a warranty,
Mm-hmm.
like, a month or two, 30-day, 90-day tiger warranty.
Yeah, 30-day warranty.
10 grand. Easy. Well, fucking Mike Tyson owns them, right? So it's like, you think that's got to be like more than I can afford? Nope. Joe Exotic, like shipping them out for like, $2,500 with $2 grand, maybe a couple hundred for shipping. I don't know. Weight's got to be high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, feeding them, that doesn't sound cheap.
No.
Well, that's the afterthought. You get the tiger first, and then you figure all that shit out later.
Right. Right. Okay, this room in the trailer is going to have to do for now.
Yeah, what neighbors do I not like that have a lot of whiny pets?
I was just going to say, just like much people do with children, we'll have it first.
Right.
Well,
we got that pop-up trailer. I reckon that'll work for a while.
They screw first, and then it's like, oh, no. Well, how are we going to feed it? Walmart truck and meat. Life is strange in these times.
Very, very.
What a weird few fucking weeks it's been.
It really is. Yeah, I don't have anything to compare it to.
Mm.
By the way, we're speaking with Chris. You want to introduce yourself?
I am Chris of Arson Class.
Yeah.
So we tried to have you on a few weeks ago, and the gremlins and internet gods just didn't like some stuff, and we ended up with like half an episode, so we wanted to make up for it. So we'll see. This might be an interesting patchwork.
I did not mind the fleshlight rabble, so
We might have to bring that back
that's what
up.
it takes to get a whole podcast done.
Right.
And
Brought to you by...
And just in case people are, wondering, we are more familiar. We did have a good episode going and everything, but Gremlins just killed the fuck out of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to have you back on, man. So I definitely do want to talk about your band and not just bro talk.
And we might stitch some pieces in. There was some good stuff there, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We could Frankenstein it.
You're setting yourself up with a lot of editing there.
See, we got to include the fleshlight.
We
man.
got to include the fleshlight.
That'll be like a bonus. That'll be a bonus.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Inside the
We're very
episode.
special.
We're on our 1 year anniversary. There could be a giveaway.
So I saw Arson Class for the first time. Oh, right. What, about a month and a half ago? Was that it? Something like that. You guys were playing at Davies.
Yeah, that was our last show at Davies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was There aren't any more shows at
God.
Davies, at least at this point. That one hurt.
Yeah, man, that hit like everybody right in the heart.
So those that don't know, Davies is kind of a KC legendary club for up and coming bands to play.
The COVID-19 stuff had just come out like hardcore just before, and then when that happened, that was all I was thinking about. Was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it burned down.
Well, it got kind of,
or burned out.
The building didn't burn down. Yeah, it just
Right.
kind of got.
Yeah, the bar side I think was pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Then I think they're trying to see what they can salvage from the stage side.
Yeah. It was like a refrigerator problem, wasn't it? Like a wiring in like the beer fridge or something.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it was like there was an electrical issue with the beer fridge or something. I mean, that's what I read.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. That's what you read, Mr. Arson Class, who was one of the last bands
to play there.
at Davies.
Yeah.
Hey, I won't say that thought crossed my mind after that shit happened. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I saw that one of your stickers survived, by the way.
Yes, I saw that too. I was like,
Interesting.
Well, of course, you put it on afterward.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was like one of the newer ones. So it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, that hit, when I saw that happen, that hit me in the feels, but I was thinking, how people have been playing around here decades longer than I have.
Oh, yeah.
How much of a home it is to, a lot of these folks.
Yeah. And we joke about it, but man, I love Davies.
Yeah.
And it hit me too.
Yeah, that really stinks.
I see a lot of people that hit. And boy, you can't even get all together right now, real afterward, so it's kind of a double whammy.
Yeah.
Because you can't really even mourn the loss with other people that love that place.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. People have gone all out and around, and came from KC and moved on to different places, or just, it's devastating. But, if anything, I think there's some hope there. Because like I say, it wasn't completely gutted, like maybe partially gutted. I think they can rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the plan is what I heard. It's going to be a while, but pretty much already taken that first step, I guess, or, deciding that they're going to do it again in the same spot, I believe.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But, that is kind of becoming more of a hot real estate location, too. I hope that doesn't hurt them.
Yeah. But, yeah, you got any favorite memories of playing there or anything at Davies? Any tributes you want to give about shows there, shit?
Man, I can't remember my first show there, but I know this is something about Davies when you walk into that place. I'm getting fucking drunk tonight. And,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I'd walk in, and Shell's usually at the end of the bar, or an old friend of mine is behind the bar. It was, kind of, no matter what kind of shit I had going on, walking to Davies is just like, it's like a night off from, real life.
Right.
I mean, I played there with my old band, St. Dallas and the Sinners. I played there at the Bottle Breakers and with Arson Class. Yeah, our Arson Class's first show was at Davies. Like, we were actually scheduled to do our first show in Tulsa, and then a friend of ours, I guess, was looking for a last-minute band to throw in a bill and hollered at us, so we wound up having Arson Class's first show was at Davies.
Wow, that must have hit hard. And it's tough. I mean, there's a bunch of shit going around. It just, like I say, I live in Columbia. I come up to Kansas City quite a bit, but still, it's like I'm seeing fundraisers for places like Eastside Tavern and places here just to, Jesus, help their servers out, help people.
Yeah.
Help people survive this, because, so many things are a cash industry. They depend on money coming in. Hell, I know a guy who's an airline pilot. He's on furlough temporarily, and it's a major corporation that he flies for.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know where his next check's coming from, because without money coming in,
right,
people don't have money going out.
I mean, I worked in the service industry for 15 years, and I got out of that like maybe about 4 years ago. Just kind of wore me down. I decided it was time to move on from that field. And that's kind of the thing is being a cook, especially like an area like this where, if you need a second job, you can get one at the snap of your fingers.
Yeah.
Or if you just needed a new full-time job, you can get one real quick. And I don't know if I'd say job security, but there's always people looking for, service industry types. But it's a situation like this.
Sure.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sucks. And I feel lucky right now that I'm not affected by it, really. I mean, the most that we have is my wife's having to take a pay cut right now, like a 10% pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks. But That's pretty minor compared to what a lot of people are going through.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting nothing.
Yep.
Like my job, I get to do that, and I was wondering what they were going to do, and they were going to shut down completely, but they haven't shut down. So for a while, it was like, well, this is kind of screwed up. I'm kind of worried about my health, and everybody else too. But at the same time, it's like at least I'm still able to make my money.
Right. Have something coming in.
Yep.
It makes me kind of feel like a bitch in a lot of ways whenever I complain about what's going on. It's like, I think there are some things even for like these non-essential employees like myself who are staying at home and doing work that I complain. It's like, God damn it. They're making us do like triple the stuff we would normally do paperwork wise, and it's redundant. And it's like, I think there is a little bit of a spirit going around where people are like, we don't like you not coming in, and we just need to make you work harder.
Right.
It's like, do 4 times the shit that you used to do, and then that way we can justify giving you a paycheck to work from home.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but just like you're saying, I can't complain because I am getting a paycheck still. This is such a terrible situation that I'm grateful for everything I do. So I'm just hammering away and maybe working 4 times as hard as I would normally on paperwork, but not having to do the one-on-one shit. But still, it's like, man, so many people are just being laid off. And I do feel sorry for a lot of the business owners out there right now who are just having to explain to their employees that it's like, look, if we don't have money coming in, we can't pay you. It's got to be impossible.
Yeah.
Not only might you be out of a job, they might be out of a business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something they may have worked for 30 years of their life. They may have put something into. I mean, you just imagine if you're our age, mid 40s, whatever, and you're looking at the last 30 years of your life. It's like you put something into something,
right?
And your whole fucking life you dedicated to it, and it could just be gone, just instantaneously. It just disappears because we depend on the system that we have out there, and we don't know any other way. It's fucked up. It's certainly serious. I'm thankful for everything I'm like, but then again, like I said, I just feel like such a cunt when I'm just like, oh, well, you have to work a little harder. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
We're probably having to move our kid in with us in this coming week just because he's laid off and can't work. And, I'm being told by people, don't let them in your house.
That's just a good rule of thumb anyway.
Fuck
them. They can starve on the street. Don't let them in. They've got it. Yeah.
They got to learn.
Leave him out there to put hair on his balls.
Right. They'll be fine.
Prostitution never hurt me any.
Right.
Yeah, when I was his age.
I don't know how many times I sold my ass on the corner. It's brutal. Yeah, I mean, I had to even defend that to a friend. They were like, don't let anybody in your home. Not your son, not your daughter. And I was like, my daughter? Really? I just let her play outside a little bit ago. So it's cool to just like let her sleep in the fucking yard because she's 11. I mean, are you sure?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got, the artist types that can't do what they do. Not saying like we draw a huge crowd or anything like that, but I don't want to do anything even as simple as band practice to risk, passing something on to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then somebody else's kid. Kind of, I guess, like limbo. Everything's in limbo.
Yep.
And on that note, I don't want to necessarily take Arson Class down a road of how Arson Class deals with
the apocalypse.
Well, let's talk kind of fucking switch gears because I know it's been one thing that like people are.
Yeah, let's talk about some rock and roll.
Yeah, let's talk about some fucking rock and roll. Let's talk about what you're doing. So, a little bit of background. Okay. Where did you grow up, man? Where are you from? Let's just go there.
I grew up with obviously my younger brother Phil, who is our drummer.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in a little town called New Bloomfield, a few minutes on the other side of the river from Jefferson City.
Mm-hmm.
Basically between Jeff City and Fulton, like somewhere in the middle there.
Yep, right around mid-Missouri here.
By the time we were in high school and meeting people, getting into music and stuff like that, I was a big Hendrix fan, so I had to learn how to play fucking guitar.
Did you?
Yeah. Did I?
Did I?
And being at home with family and stuff like that, me and my brother were always pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
He started picking up drums and kind of jam around in the house, to like some Beast Boys beats, just some basic stuff like that. It was easy to pick up and kept on trucking along and started playing in bands, and I was playing in bands, and then eventually started our own band where it's me, him, and another guitar player, but I was actually a bass player. This is funny. So I started playing guitar when I was 14, and friends of mine had a band and they wanted to get a second guitar player. So they said, hey, come play guitar for us. And I was like, all right. So I go to my first practice with these guys, and that same night, their bass player quits, and they just turn around and look at me and like, can you play bass? So from that point, I wound up being pretty much a bass player for like 10 years, strictly. And then, I'd play guitar for like metal bands and stuff like that also, but kind of got real big into bass.
Yeah.
Did that for a while, stomped around Columbia, played at the old Down Under bar. You guys remember that place? I don't know what it's called now. I think it's like a craft shop or something last time I was there.
Probably.
It's where Gumby's Pizza was, like underneath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like there's Gumby's, and then there's kind of like a walkway that kind of goes downstairs.
That goes downstairs. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's like a book or a craft shop now.
Yeah.
Huh. That's a cool spot for a club.
Yeah. You guys know Jesse Garcia? He owns Roxy's and Social Club.
A little. I've met him. Yeah, I met him a couple of times, but
yeah, I guess taken that spot over, I guess, some years afterwards.
Yeah, there's a lot of spots in Columbia now that have turned into just like boutique shops.
Yeah.
They used to be really cool venues.
Yeah.
But I could see that one definitely being as a fucking really cool place to have a club.
Oh man, it was a dirty dive bar with some pool tables on the side.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have floods because it was down there, and
stop around the water getting electrocuted.
Oh, right above it was a really good Chinese place too. Jingos or something like that.
Slow.
They were really good, but they're slow as fuck.
I think the only thing that's available like on that end of town now, as far as like a rock venue, is probably East Side.
Yeah, I remember Roxy's was doing shows for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like we played there quite a few times. I remember trying to book stuff there, and things kind of started getting scarce. And I remember talking to Jesse, and it kind of came down to he had always wanted to have live bands at his venue, but he was making, I think, like more profit off, having dance nights for the college kids. What you're paying a DJ, I guess.
Right.
Instead of trying to, have a cover to take care of 3 or 4 bands.
Right.
I think it just kind of got to a point where, as far as running a business, probably smarter to go that way, capitalize.
Sure.
I mean, it sucks. You're wanting to have like a live music type of venue.
Yeah.
That's how that went.
You got to keep the doors open, even if you're doing that shit like 4 nights a week or 3 nights a week, and then you got a couple good shows in the weekend. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've always said about Columbia that I try to have people have a grasp on is the scene changes so often because so many people roll through here.
Mm-hmm.
Go to school here for a little while, or you live in the area and then you move on. Or I went to school there for 4 years and then I fucked off to LA or whatever. And it's like, okay.
When I started kicking around in Columbia, if I remember right, it was got a lot of underground punk and kind of indie style in like a very grunge way because of the time that it was. But and then once we really started getting more shows and stuff, it kind of changed into more of like a metal scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time I'd actually been around there for a while. We both left for the military.
So around what years were that?
That would have been from 97, 98 to 2000, a few years right in there.
I didn't really move here till like 03, somewhere around there. But yeah, it keeps going in a cycle like that. It's weird.
After being gone for years in the military and then like coming home and wanting to go check out some old spots and just kind of seeing how things look the same, but it's different.
Oh yeah. I mean, even living here since like I say 02, 03 or something like that. Fuck, I'll go downtown even after a few months. And it'll look totally different. Like every shop is different.
Holy shit. Where'd this parking garage come from?
Right. Yeah. So you guys, you played here for a while, then you moved on to Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Is that like the home base, would you say?
Yeah, it is. When I got out of the Navy in 04, I lived in Springfield for a while and kicked around down there. And then the band I was with kind of felt like we'd run its course, was kind of getting tired of that area and the scene and stuff. I mean, get out of town, maybe it's better for us if we relocated somewhere bigger like Kansas City where we had friends and we've been up here a few times before. I got hired to play guitar on a U.S. tour, so when I left, basically the plan was we're going to move to Kansas City when I get back, but everybody had already moved up there. So I left Springfield to do this tour for a summer, and when the tour got over, I pretty much just flew straight to Kansas City to my new home.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of fell apart, and then out of the Air Force, and it was pretty much, well, you're my drummer, so I need you to come back. I pretty much had him dust his drums off to do a show real quick at Riot Room. He hadn't played in front of a crowd in, 15 years. Kind of throw him into the fire. Right after that, we started doing Arson Class with me, Phil, and Mike Barron. I guess Mike, he's planning on moving to Texas.
Wow.
This is the last year or so. He was going to do that, so we started getting on the hunt for a new guy. We had Mark Bollinger, the bass player for Electric Lungs, filled in on some shows for us. And that was fun. And then we got Mike Shamley, who is our bass player now. He used to play for American Discord.
Oh, okay. Right.
You guys can all play too. I was impressed with that. You definitely got your chops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to keep them.
So what was the touring band you were in, or do you have like a non-disclosure agreement or something?
Oh, no. When I was playing in Springfield at St. Dallas in the Centers, and my buddy of mine runs a bar down there called Lindbergh Tavern. He called us and asked us if we wanted to do a Tuesday night show with a band called Continental.
Oh, okay.
Continental is Rick Barton, and his son plays bass, but Rick is the original guitar player and founder of the Dropkick Murphys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. So it was like just a paying gig, like a solid gig.
Yeah, so we did a show with them, and I guess he took my number. He said he liked how I played and stuff, and I didn't think anything of it. And it was like maybe a couple months after that, called me and asked me if I want to go on tour with them for a summer because they needed a guitar player for that tour. So, of course, I said yes. So they flew me out to Boston for a few days of rehearsal.
Wow.
We got in the van and hit the road for close to 40 shows, maybe close to 50 shows. It was a lot. It was a long
Right on.
It was a long trip. We basically started in Boston. I think the first show was in Jersey. We went all the way down to Savannah, Georgia. Basically shot all the way across the shows from there to Houston.
Wow.
Stayed at the Street Dogs complex, Johnny Rio's place down there. And then
Okay.
all the way to the southwest coast of San Diego, all the way back up to Seattle, and
Damn.
Well, that's kind of an iconic band, man.
You know what? That was one of the funny things is after a while, it was like I'd be sitting there pretty much once we started kicking off their tour, and I remember sitting there just kind of like, so this crazy motherfucker, Rick, just driving, just talking about this. The guy's, he's one of a kind. Like, just got to meet him and like spend time with him. But just sitting there because like growing up, You or Die is like, I mean, even still to this day, just the sound quality, the way it sounds.
Oh yeah.
You know, Do or Die is like one of my favorite punk rock albums.
Yeah.
Like I don't look at it as like that. You know how the niche is now. It's like the Celtic Irish style.
Right.
Every St. Patrick's Day, I put that on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so sitting there, I mean, you'd be on the phone with one of the guys from Boss Tones or Albar. Well, I guess it's no big deal. I mean, to them, it's not.
Right.
Friends and family and stuff. But it's just, you know, kid from Bumhole, Missouri.
Right.
How did I get here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find my what end leg? It'd be so hard to avoid those jokes.
No, but it was pretty cool. They did a Murphy song called The Porch that Rick wrote. I think they put it out on, no, remember if Rick was even on the record, but it was one of his songs. And but I guess they were still playing it live in their set, so kind of cool to play The Porch with Rick.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I know if anything that Matt is exposed to Dropkick Murphys ad nauseum at my house when back before there was social distancing and he came over to my house for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, this is the first one I think we haven't done it together for a long time.
Yeah, I had my mom living with me and stuff, and she's like, this is probably the least festive like St. Patty's Day we've had in a long time. And I said, yeah, I think that was a little bit before the shutdown.
That was right when everything was starting out.
Yeah, it was like right that shit happened and everything once it came down.
Yeah, it'll always be St. Blacktrick's Day or whatever we want to call it. But no, yeah, that's really fucking cool. Gotta love Dropkick.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed that before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, if you guys have not heard Rick, one of his early bands in the 80s was called The Outlet.
Okay.
If you guys have not heard that, check it out.
I'm not familiar, but I will.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Oh, dude, they rock. Actually, Dropkick Murphys did a cover of one of their songs. I don't know if they put it out on something, but it's called You Knock Me Down. But that's an old Outlet song. But if you guys check it out, it's kind of Imagine kind of like a early replacement like that, because it's kind of edge.
I fucking love their replacements.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. I was just posting some replacements earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's amazing to me how many people or how many bands that I talk to from the Midwest, from like Kansas City, Missouri, and Illinois, and everything just are fucking huge I'm a big Replacements fan. Just how much we kind of latch onto them. I mean, they're a Minnesota, I guess, band, I guess.
Yep. I got to drive by the house that I guess Paul Westerwood, I guess, I don't know, where he wrote a bunch of it.
Right. But it's sort of strange to me. It's like I've always been a Replacements fan. I saw them once a long time ago with Love and Rockets. But how many people, if I post like a Replacement song, how many bands we've talked to and interviewed and stuff stand with me in solidarity and like, fuck yeah, placemats.
Right.
Yeah, they're kind of like the low-key fucking...
They're almost like the Grateful Dead of the Midwest.
They're good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
You know, like if you lived in San Francisco and you posted a Grateful Dead song, you know, everybody would be like, oh yeah, okay, the Dead, right on. But I mean, you live anywhere like east of the Mississippi and it's like you post a Replacement song and everybody's like, fuck yeah, placemats.
Yeah. Yeah, my exposure to them was there was a movie called Singles, kind of set in like a grunge. I've ever seen it. Matt Dillon and it had like, I guess, Pearl Jam and Soundgarden were in it.
Yep.
But the soundtrack, I was in love with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And there's a couple Paul Westerberg songs on there, and I was like, this guy's fucking awesome. And that kind of threw me back into it.
Yep. And the Screaming Trees.
Screaming Trees.
Gary Lee Conner was on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep. We got to talk about that.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yes, absolutely. That's probably the biggest one I remember of the single soundtrack was Nearly Lost You, and just hearing that chugging guitar part at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, everything on there was good. That whole soundtrack. I'm the Soundgarden guy, you know, so you had Chris Connor, Cornell.
You're not the Soundgarden guy. We're both Soundgarden guys.
Yeah, I know. Well, because I was also thinking we had Conley on a while
Yeah,
back.
we have had Chris Conley on.
But Cornell, he did the single, and then Soundgarden was on there too.
Mudhoney.
That was good. Pearl Jam.
Perfect soundtrack. C movie.
Ow, come on.
I was okay with the movie. I didn't hate the movie.
I love that movie. That's one of my, like, I keep seeing online, everybody's so fucking bored. Say, what's your top 10 of this? What's your top 10 of that? And, like, that would be one of my top 10 movies I could watch all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was okay.
The soundtrack is fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's an unpopular opinion, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, Matt's wife berates me every time I mention this, but I'm like, meh. You know, on the movie itself, like, oh, you mean where the lady had to choose an abortion in her life and it was just ruined everything for her, and you fucking pig. And I'm like, okay. Exactly. It's like, you fucking asshole. How dare you berate women? And so I'm like, okay. I just didn't. I love the soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack. Fucking probably 3 times I bought that soundtrack. I think I went out and purchased it because I lost it, stepped on it, or whatever, gave it to somebody. I think I bought it like 3 times in my life. But the movie itself, I don't know. Like when the fucking yuppies are like in the crowd when watching Alice in Chains play, and the scene becomes more about the yuppies' relationship than it does Alice in Chains being right fucking there.
Yeah.
That's where it lost me. I guess it's like, I'm kind of uncomfortable. It's like, shut the fuck up and let fucking Lane Staley sing the song right now.
Dude, I used to wear I had this Citizen Dick t-shirt and I wore it
Nice.
religiously when I was a kid. I wore it all the time. And the last time I saw that shirt, I mean, I should have, I don't know, framed it or something at one point, but like I remember it was in a hanger.
Yeah.
I remember I came home. This was probably years since I'd seen the shirt, and I found it. And it's like, oh, and it's like, you know, coming apart and just like holes and shit. I remember grabbing the hanger, and I go to take the shirt, and it's basically just falling apart in my hand.
It was dust. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, I've lost so many shirts that they would be worth something today.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite scene from that movie was just when like Dylan says, bless you in the elevator on the sneeze scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, my scene is if I'm getting into the car with somebody and they unlock the door, and it's like, you open my car door, bud.
Yeah. Good one.
Gonna bang later.
I can see that.
But everybody's got automatic doors now, so it's not really the same.
Right. I hit the button.
You open my car door button.
I clicked it twice.
Yeah.
Don't pull the handle.
Stop.
Stop. I have that fucking argument with my kid every time we get in the car.
Fucking don't just
Dad, it's locked.
Pull the handle.
put your hands on top of your head.
I wasn't pulling it. Yes, you were, because everybody else can get in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the soundtrack, that was probably a good as far as, like, I got into, like, Hendrix and a lot of the classic rock stuff, you know, just from, you know, wanting to learn how to play guitar. But that album in particular, as far as, like, pushing me in a direction, probably right up there, maybe, like, number one. It's like you have a different variety of music, different acts in there, and I loved all of it and wanted to play all of it.
Yeah.
So did you tune your bass like standard? Because one thing, well, this is where this is coming from, is I've been trying to practice guitar for like the last 3 years. And I own like 12 guitars just because I keep buying them because they're beautiful. I'm not very good at guitar. But once I figured out that like a bass is standard tune, like it's just the top 4 strings of a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So did that help when you figured that out?
Oh, yeah. This is how I figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I started, you know, going back to that band that, you know, asked me to play bass and the guy quit.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't know was the idea of tuning the bass and the guitar together.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently neither did anybody in the band.
Uh-huh.
So we would just, you know, have practices and stuff, and I would just tune the bass and he would tune his guitar, but we never made sure we were in tune together. And neither of us were tuners, you know?
Right.
So we would just play, and it's just like, it was just kind of, we just did it so long, it was just kind of, maybe we just sound like shit, you know? So we just kind of got used to it. And then I remember one day, I was like, you know what? I need a new bass. So I go to this pawn shop and buy this cheap little Ibanez. Of course, it had already been tuned, you know, at the shop.
Right.
I didn't touch it. I just bought the damn thing, went to practice. I'm just like, we're sitting there playing. It's like, dude, we sound fucking good. Like, fuck, man. What's going on here? And then from there, I kind of, the first time I tried tuning a bass, like, I need to tune this E to my guitar. So I'm cranking that low end E on a bass, trying to get it up there with, you know, but it's like a different,
Right.
That's hilarious.
But as far as like rhythm and stuff, like playing bass, like I'm a stickler for bass, especially if it's in my band.
Yeah.
Like if we're recording, I listen to the bass more than I do anything else.
Huh.
Well, it's that midway thing, right? It's a rhythm instrument, but it still has tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, drums have tone, I guess, if you tune them.
Yeah.
But it's still one of those things that it's such the carrier. It's the bridge between everything.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And that's why I've always fucking loved bass. It's just, I think I probably got into that in Led Zeppelin when I really started listening, was just that it's the bridge between everything. It's the tone and the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. It's like, you know, it's like smashing a piano into a guitar and making the thing that carries everything. So I've always been a huge fan of thumpers and bass players.
Yeah. Your bass is so important. Like when I played with Mike Farron, guys like prototype bass player that I would want.
Mm-hmm.
Solid, steady, can noodle whenever he knows it's time to do something.
Right.
We click pretty well. But having someone like that, it makes you feel better, you know, about what you're doing.
Right. It's easier to concentrate on what you're doing in some ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, Shamley now, I mean, that guy's the wild ginger bear. He's over there and just shreds the whole time. Yeah. You okay?
Yeah. I watched him. You're right. He looked worn out after. He wasn't a long set either.
No. Like, I told him that from the start. Just like, dude, don't be ready for like some hour fucking set. Like, I usually keep our sets to 30 minutes, you know, about average. You want to get your shit out, do it from start to finish.
He owns it, huh?
Yep. He did.
Yeah, I really want to catch you guys. I really do.
Yeah, if you do make it to one of our shows, bring one of your 12 guitars and I'll be more than happy to play it for you.
All right. What you want? I got a fucking Telly. They're all cheap guitars. I buy cheap ones because I know I'm going to get fucked up and like break the headstock off at some point. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to be sad.
Like, I'm a Gretsch guy, and Gretsch can be really, really, really expensive.
Yes.
But I play the affordable model Gretches because I know if I have a guitar, I'm going to get out of that thing.
Right.
My last, you know, hour on Earth. I remember going to like shops and seeing like $2,400 $100 up on the wall.
Right.
I mean, if I bought that, I'm not going to sit in a corner and polish the fucking.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I've been playing the same setup with the exact guitar and the exact amp since like 2011. That same combination. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you made a show. The amp I'm using is my hot rod, and the Gretsch I play. Like, I've been playing those since 2011.
Right on.
And the hot rod got some modifications, but not like anything like I specifically wanted. It's just been in so many shops, and
Right.
it had to be overhauled, and it sounds like perfect, right? And I'd have people asking me, sitting there trying to stir my pedal board, which there's nothing on it. There's like some pedals there, but it's like, dude, it's just natural sound, man.
Right.
That's what rock and roll's supposed to sound like, I think.
Yeah.
I try.
I'm a living room rock star is where I perform. It's like at my computer desk. So
Yeah, that's where we all start.
yeah.
He hasn't advanced to groupies yet. He's still got his fleshlight.
Yeah. I got my flesh. So on the flashlight.
He puts a little wig on it, sets it in a corner, just like.
We bring it back
I
around.
I don't even remember what the flashlight conversation was. It had to do with advertisement, right?
That was going to be our sponsor.
Flashlight and My Pillow.
Yeah, you guys are talking about sponsors.
When Joe Rogan got started, that was his thing. My flashlight.
My fleshlight.
Oh, sorry. I'm going military in my head. This is my fleshlight. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Yeah, but this one is mine.
Parliament Funkadelic. One of my favorites. George Clinton might be looking for a hook right now.
I think I remember last time you telling us that you got your guitar via a friend wanted you to join the band.
Yeah.
It was like your bribe.
Yeah, I was living in Phoenix, and my best friend Dallas, he goes by Saint Dallas Tattoos. He's in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
The band was St. Dallas and the Sinners, and they'd kind of started doing like a weekly night kind of rockabilly dance night kind of thing. And I guess they were wanting to do some stuff and wanted me to play guitar. And it's like, dude, you got to come home, be in my band, blah, 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 blah. And I was kind of half-ass kidding. I was like, give me a Gretsch, I'll come home. And next thing you know, he's fucking sending me a picture holding the fucking the guitar that I play, sitting there holding it. It's like, God damn.
It's a pretty one.
This is at a point, too, where I was pretty much trying to move on from the dream. You know, it was fun when, while I tried, but it always comes back.
Do you know who did the customization on it with the pinstriping and stuff? It's a pretty guitar, man.
I can't remember the kid's name. That was a drunk decision at Greaserama, maybe 2013, I think. 13, 14.
Okay.
Played there, and then hanging out, just hammering them back and walking around. This guy's doing pinstriping on basically anything. There you go. That's what happened. I woke up the next day, and it's sitting there across from me in the bedroom, and I'm looking at a pinstripe job on it. It's like, what the fuck did I do to my guitar? Fuck, that looks stupid. I was like, God, it took me probably a week to be okay with it.
Really? I fucking love it the first time I saw it, man.
No, I think it looks badass.
Yeah, it took me a while because I had the guitar for so long at that point.
Oh, I
see.
like, yeah.
It's like getting used to a new haircut.
Like your old lady got a new tramp stamp.
She hates it. I love
it. Yep.
She loves it, and you're like, who's Bob? It's going to take me a while.
Might take a minute. But no, I thought it was cool first time I saw it.
Yeah, but I'm used to it now. You can see where it's kind of worn off from my arm, and some spots too where I didn't wash the thing. Obviously, I handed it to him, so a lot of it is kind of pinstriped over, sweaty dirt.
Yeah.
So. But it looks cool. It's deteriorating nicely.
Right. That's punk rock. That's how it goes. Just like your old lady would with the tramp stamp.
Yeah, we were about to go to the studio to start getting some new stuff ready to work on.
Oh, right on.
But that hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's been kind of a difficult thing. We've been talking to some people and some bands like, so what do you have coming up next? And they're like, I don't know. We're living our life moment to fucking moment. It's like, yeah, I guess we are too. So we don't typically wrap up with that, and that's hard. I hate that because that used to be so fun at the end of our shows, just being like, hey, what's coming up? We got a show at blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I'm living in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
we have a lot of pending dates.
Right. Tomorrow I'm making beef broccoli, and I don't know. It's still cool to get background guys, though, and hopefully we can turn people on to some new listens and get you guys out there. And
yeah.
you got a band camp?
Yeah, we've got our band camp, this Arson Class, and all our music is free on there. Pretty much anything we put out can download it. We take donations, but yeah, our stuff's free on Bandcamp. We got a couple videos on YouTube, Facebook, and you can get a hold of the band that way, or we've got a couple EPs on there.
I've been telling people to check you out. You guys, I think people will be surprised at how good Arson Class is if they'll just get on there, check you guys out. Definitely worth listening to.
Yeah, I hope so.
And you can absolutely, which I did today, tell your Google Home or tell your Alexa to play some Arson Class, and it will. And it'll take you down a rabbit hole for a while. And it's really good shit. Guys, go to their fucking Bandcamp, buy some stuff. Everybody should help, musicians out. Time.
Yeah.
We all need to help each other out, but it's good fucking music, man.
For sure.
Or you're seeing, everybody needs it right now.
Yeah.
Right, and go see Chris and his guitar.
Yes.
Look at the video for Brand New City. Pretty good.
Yeah, check that out.
Don't be too humble, man. It's a beautiful guitar. You guys make some beautiful music.
Oh, that's my girl.
Yep. Even though she got that tattoo without you knowing, but,
Well, that's tramp stamp.
Still cool. Man, thanks for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it. We don't want to take up much of your time. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Undetermined the Podcast. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Keep listening. Bye-bye.